same idea. And again, it doesn't matter where I put my hands, you know, whatever. It's just, you know. So I'm going for two subdivisions. The first one that we all did together, right? The and again, then I might say to myself, okay, I've got that. Let's just keep that motif. That's our little thing, our germ that we're going to work with. I'm going to take that and rotate it. Now my left hand goes to my right hand, so I have right hand, right foot, and left foot. So left hand now is our, like we say, the odd man out over here. So I've got that. I'll try that. See that? There you go. These are really, I mean, they're so, you know, bland variations on it. But the idea is you can do this with all kind of things. You can say, okay, maybe I'm going to do 8 notes. And of course, I would still say try and count, you know. I'm just drawing my hand around. I don't really even know what. I'm not really thinking in advance as to it. But the key being, but like you say, is to try and rotate that through that box. I've thought each time thinking, okay, you know, and I'm just going, you know, what am I doing? The clockwise. You go counterclockwise. You can do anything you'd like, but definitely the three group. If you think about that, keep moving with that. You know, once the net, when you get to here, so where would I be? This would be the right hand. So now I've got the right hand out of it, right? I was going to put little 30-second note diddles for you drumline people, you know. Yeah, really kind of tedious, but you know, or maybe let's think triplets, you know, triplet. Okay, I mean, again, for the drumline folks in the room, I'm borrowing some old tenor sweeps. That's too many rims. Okay, so that idea though of taking that's basically one of the things, like when you're talking about splitting yourself, I always try and come from that box concept of, is it horizontal or is it vertical? I'll shut up on this, but I mean, you really touched on my favorite thing, as you can tell. Coordination, I mean, I know it stymies all of us. I know it's the hardest thing about playing drums. Any of you guys that are just starting out or, you know, younger, when you try and learn a new beat, you're always operating from that mentality of like, oh gosh, you know, I've got, how do I create that beat? Well, forget all the sounds. Just work on mechanics of trying to find out. And in this day and age, you can usually see how they played it. You guys got to remember, even people are, you know, my age, and Jeff, you know, even Tobin. I mean, the YouTube thing and everything, man, that's like a revolution. You know, there were videos and stuff, but half the time I couldn't afford to go buy one. You know, and it's like so I didn't really see my favorite players. I heard them, and I'd come up with all these goofy ways they were doing it. And then I'd see them, I'd go, that's it. You know, I think they were doing, you know, and then you find out, no, they multi-track that. That's like 5 different passes, you know, I'm like, and I'm at home trying to, you know, it's like, man. So, coordination skills like that, I would say, get away from the drum set, and in terms of that, of keeping the time, the last thing to come back to what you were asking about, the technique I'm doing, that he's talking about over here, is this thing with the hi-hat where I'm basically hitting the heel of my foot to create an open sound, and then closing it with my toe. And I ripped this off from years ago watching a drummer named Tommy Campbell. Anybody watch the Jay Leno show? Kevin Eubanks, the band leader on the Jay Leno show. It was his longtime drummer. Tommy is, and I think he still teaches at Berkeley School of Music in Boston or something. But he would do this just amazing thing. He would hurt my toe doing that with that shield and that. He'd do that for 20 minutes. I remember just being, you know, jawed. It was one of the few videos that I had when I was in high school, and so I started taking my hi-hat and like watching TV and going, mind you, Mom wasn't home, you know. That wasn't going on, you know. She came home, that was over. But I basically, and I definitely made sure not to put that, like, you know, don't stick that in the nice room with the, you know, the wood floor or the carpet, or bad juju. Okay, but seriously, to me it was like, this is the thing I really don't understand, so I'm gonna make it part of my kind of, if you will, my mental soup, you know, and just try and. And I would say to you that those of you that don't use the hi-hat, I mean, it's two things that I call my crutches, is the hi-hat, timekeeping, and my left hand. You tell me to play this beat. I can do that, and I'm going to do that, but man, give me 30 seconds. What's going to start coming into it? You can tell me what I'm doing with that left hand?
Ghost notes.
Yeah, right, ghost notes, right? What kind of notes? What note rate? Like 30 seconds, quarters, half notes, what? 16ths, right? Really what I'm basically doing, just to really start quick, taking this pattern, you know, good old 8 notes, and I really don't need to, just keep it super simple, bass drum, you know, the snare, there. For those of you, again, I'm assuming a lot of people are reading. I apologize if you don't. It's like basically these are my hi-hat notes, my snare, the bass drum, and this is the basic pattern. You know, I'm sure most of you in the room are very familiar with a pattern like this. You know, we put counts 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I'm thinking to myself, basically, I'm just subdividing. It's an externalization of my internal thought process. I go in and I inject little guys here, little 16th notes. It's what people call ghost notes. I put these little parentheses around them. Sorry, I'm horrible handwriting. But that is it. They're just to say they're kind of soft and subtle. And that's, as an aside today, I've done a pretty bad job of showing you any amount of dynamics. Everything's been loud and louder. So for the younger drummers, definitely I'll try and do, maybe if I play anything else for everybody, try and do a little shaping for you. But that's a big thing. There's nothing more boring than a drummer just going, you know, kind of like the way I talk. So that's that same idea. But if you take here, this concept, let's just take and pull out, extract from there the rhythm that is actually being created by my left hand. Basically E and then to E, And this is for the drumline folks. This is a really, really important thing when you get into, I think earlier, I think it was Jim, you said to me about the flam, they said to me about flam accents. You take something like, or like, I mean, people, those are, again, the drumline folks who are like people who have march drumline or, you know, pataflaflas, or, you know, any of those are, you know, same hand. You know, that idea, if you listen to what's going on a lot, you split up your hands with something like that. That's not going to hear that very well. Or very much drum set beats, I mean. Why, again, how many people have seen, I know I see all of Bill's stuff, Bill Bachman, Quad Logic stuff. Bill and I taught together in drum corps. We taught with Magic for Orlando back in 2002, and he was writing some of these books, but Bill's got a new thing out, it's a rudimental DVD for drum set and rudiments. Man, it's fantastic. And Bill's, like, to me, he's like the polar opposite of me. He's the most accurate drummer ever, and I'm the sloppiest guy. I'm like all over the place, you know, I kind of blah, 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 blah. But everything's pretty, I mean, you want to learn how to work on your, applying your rudiments and in a perfect metronome, and you got to check out this DVD. It's very cool. I mean, it's sorry to plug, but that just made me think of that. And he breaks this down a lot, that if you take something like this, what I was playing, you know, look at what I'm having to do technique, and again, I'll go to match grips. I know most of you probably play match, and again, don't worry about grips. Whatever feels good, play it. It doesn't matter. You know, this is cool. You got to. If you want to march snare drum in your high school drum line, you probably got to play tradition. Let them worry about teaching it to you. I've done my time. Forget all this fancy stuff for those of you that are real young, and it's probably just going, I probably sound like the Charlie Brown character, wah, 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 wah. If you just go 1 and 2 and 4 and 2 and 4. Can everyone do this with me? Thank you, that's excellent. I mean, it's tough enough to get everyone at a concert just to go, 1, 2, all right, everybody, put it together. You know, it's like, now? You know, that you guys are kicking butt. So that idea of syncopation again, I alluded to earlier about strong beats and weak beats. That's one of the things when when you do these ghosted notes, to don't make it into some kind of a big science fair project. It's just basically filling in the gaps, like in how you would count and subdivide.